Hi everyone, Prof Sales coming at you with another video, and today's video is about research. Many of us out there want to sell clothing, for instance, and that is primarily what I sell. So I thought I would do a video on how to research clothing, how to find out what sells, and what can make you the most money. So let's jump right in. So you will notice I'm here on the eBay homepage, and this is where the search starts. So I'm going to go up here to the search bar, and over here where it says all categories, I'm going to select clothing and hit search. Now you can see it brings up lots of categories over here, and this is where you would have to decide, well, I think I want to sell shoes or watches or men's clothing or women's clothing, whatever. But let's just go ahead and pick women's clothing, and I'm going to pick dresses, which, by the way, is a category I know nothing about, so anything stupid I say here, you cannot hold me accountable. All right, so let's see what dresses has to tell us. The first thing I want to do is I want to change this new with tags because we want to look up clothing that is used. So I'm going to go over here to the condition over in the left side. I'm going to put in pre-owned, and we notice right away it's 134,000 items. That's a decent sized category. It's not as big as some other categories you would find in clothing, but it's probably worth at least exploring. So let's go ahead and change that to pre-owned. Okay, so as mentioned, we see that there are 134,000 listings, which is I would say a small to medium sized clothing category. I like to do buy it nows. You can do auctions, but buy it nows for me are less trouble, so I am going to use that particular search qualifier, and that takes us down to 127,000, basically 128,000. So most of the items in this category that are sold are being sold as a buy it now. Okay, so we also have some other search qualifiers up here: pre-owned, free shipping, US only. For now, we're going to leave those. So let's look a little more in depth at this category. Over here, we see some other search parameters. So we're going to leave some of these on. I'm going to leave free shipping on for the moment. But let's go to the completed listings, and this is where the search really starts. So this particular search is set up to show us the first 50 items per page. Okay, great. So what I like to do, this is completed listings. Now, completed listings, for those of you who don't know, means that the listing ended. Now, it may have been relisted. We don't know. That eBay creates a whole new item ID when you relist something, but it ended. That means it could have ended, been relisted, it could have ended completely, or it could have ended in a sale. We are interested in the sales. Now, we know that this is 50 items it's going to show us here, so we don't need to count how many items are, but what we do need to do is count the items that are sold. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So of the first 50 items, or excuse me, this is out of 48. So we sold 4, which is basically 10%. That translates out to not a very good sell-through rate. That's a sell-through rate of basically 10%. I like to go for sell-through rates that are higher. I like to see at least 30. Now, we do see that of the items that sold, we see $49.99 with the best offer accepted, so it's something less than that, $39.99, $35.99, and $21.24 with free shipping. So it looks like the price point in dresses is at least 20 bucks plus, at least in these particular listings. If you can get your cost of goods down to say $6 or less, which is basically 1/3, it's a little less than 1/3, this would probably be a profitable category for you. Now that depends on your source of supply. Are you using thrift stores, estate sales, garage sales, Goodwill, Savers, all the various ways to get these items that are out there? That's just really only something you can know in your particular situation. So we will look at the brand a little closer because people shop brands in clothing. We all know this. So let's see what brands are out there. And I have no idea what the great brands are in dresses, so forgive my ignorance. But we see here it tells us each brand name and how many listings there are in that category. And that's important. Like for instance, this 525 America brand, I don't know anything about this brand, but I know that with only 3 listed, there's not a huge market for 525 American dresses. They may sell really well. They may sell for $1,000 a piece. I have no idea. But the problem is that you're just not going to have a lot of people looking for them on here, and you're certainly not going to likely be able to find them in any kind of quantity to where you could really sell a lot of them. If only 3 are available, that tells me that the odds of you being able to sell 525 America with any sort of sustainability are not very good. On the other hand, if we look down here, we see Adriana Papel, if I'm saying that right, has 592 listed. That's a little bit higher number. So there's a decent size category there that you may be able to find. Think about it this way: if you found 10 of those dresses a week and listed them all, you would only be about 2% of the market, not even. So that's reasonable. You could definitely do that. You wouldn't be flooding the market. Whereas on the other hand, if you found 5 Adidas dresses and listed them, now that you would have 5 out of the 13, you would kind of be flooding that market a little bit and maybe suppressing values. I mean, this all works on supply and demand. The more supply there is of something, the less the demand is going to be, and that's going to hurt your prices. So you have to find kind of a sweet spot. Let's look a little further down. Let's see if we can find one that has a really huge number, and we may not. There's a 570, Liz Claiborne. How about Ann Taylor Loft? That's a pretty good size one, 1838. So let's see if we can get that to come up here. I'm having a little there we go. Having a little issue with my. Okay, so Ann Taylor, this is pre-owned, completed listings, free shipping, U.S. only. Ann Taylor Loft dresses, 1,838 have been completed. So let's look at her sell-through. So again, we know there's going to be 48, so we don't really have to count these as. All right, so 1 sold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 out of 48. So that's about 20%, right? Yes, more or less. A little bit less, about 18. Better than what we saw before. Maybe not great, but at least this market seems to be a little more, thriving a little bit more. So we see a $22 price point here. Let's go up. $22.10, not very good there. $17.95, $19.95 with the best offer. $26.99, a little higher there. $24 and $24. So it looks like the average price for Ann Taylor Loft dresses, at least in this sample, is maybe somewhere in the teens, $16, $17. Again, if you can get your cost of goods down to say 1/3 of whatever the items are selling for, you can probably be profitable. But I still would not say this is a robust market. If you think about only selling 1 in 5, not even really quite 1 in 5, you're going to be sitting on some inventory for a while. You're going to have some Ann Taylor Loft dresses hanging for a while. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't sell Ann Taylor Loft dresses. What I'm really trying to get at here is you're going to have to gain product knowledge about whatever niche you go into, whatever section. And as you do, you will get better and better at picking out which dresses sell better and which ones sell for the best money. For instance, I would much rather sell $25 dresses and $24 dresses than $19.95 or $18.95 with the best offer accepted. Why? I'm going to make more money on these. So why did this one sell better and this one sell for a higher price than, say, this one? I have no idea because I know nothing about dresses. But the answer is there, and as you start selling, you will see why. And you can do your research up front to start realizing, okay, well, hey, the little black dress sold well, and the little red dress sold well. And this floral one sold well. And it could be lots of reasons. It could be the particular cut. It could be the size. It could be the pictures that the person took. It could be the pattern on the dress. Lots of things, just like anything else. You're going to have to learn that as you go. You're not going to be able to figure that all out just by looking at these completed listings. But at least you can start getting an idea about what's out there, how much of it is out there, and what kind of money you can make from it. So that's really all there is to doing this. You can do this with, all the various categories that eBay has. If we go back here, just in clothing alone, I've got some things still on here, but there's a tremendous amount of items out there to sell in clothing. Now we see some pants, we see some, this is all Ann Taylor, we have to get rid of that. Let's clear all that. That'll tell us then. Just in women's clothing, we have, all these options: dresses, tops and blouses, coats and jackets, intimates and sleep, jeans, athletic apparel, and so on. And you're going to know in your area or with your resources what sort of items you can get in bulk. And from there, you go in and do the process that we did, looking at completed